896-5555, Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Oh, it is cold outside, but it gets so hot in here. That is, 11 o'clock TikTok. Actually not on a U2 album. First time we heard it was under the live track of Under a Bloody Red Sky. But that's young U2. That's them at like 19, 20 years of age. And it is cold outside. It's almost like God's way of saying, listen, we know that you're paralyzed in this city. There's so much tomfoolery. There's just flat out stupidity. It's day 2 of the offseason, and I think it's Mother Nature's way of going up against Al Gore and saying, you know what, watch this, North Florida. Let's drop a 40-degree day on you, and it's going to be close to freezing tonight. And before you come on in and say, hey, Ballou, part of global warming is that it gets cold as well. I'm just kidding, okay? Every once in a while, we can have fun at the man who invented the intranet. Right? Wasn't that Al Gore? Anyway, we got a lot to do today. The 6th head coach has been fired. That is Antonio Pierce out of Las Vegas. 1 year with the Raiders. He goes 4-13, and he's gone. He's done. Jacksonville right now, Trent Baalke right now, performing their due diligence, putting everything in order. I can imagine the master at work right now, creating questions. The symmetry and how to put everything in motion to pick the next head coach of this franchise, a franchise that Trent Baalke has overseen, and he has gone 25-43, yet he is untouchable. He's not going anywhere. Shad Khan is 64-148. If you add the 3-2 lifetime record with playoff football, he is 67-130. Folks, his winning percentage is .309. He is the losingest owner over the last 10 years of anything that is team-related sports. 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. That's what Shad Khan is giving you. He's had 3 winning seasons in 13 years. He dropped a 10-6 on you, and it was historic. Jaguars won playoff games. Remember the thriller here? Blake Bortles to Ben Koyak. Where were you at? I mean, what did we have? 70,000 in attendance that day? It was like the worst football game we had ever seen. I mean, Jalen picked one off late, but I was a sideline reporter, and I'm thinking, just give this crowd a little something to be happy about. And I think it ended up being one of those, 10-3 type of thrillers. Again, Bortles back of the end zone to Ben Koyak. It was historic. You know exactly where you were when that took place. Then we saw a week later maybe the greatest football game that Leonard Fournette had ever played. Right? Wasn't it a 45-42 victory in Pittsburgh? It was absolutely incredible. And, of course, that season dashed everyone's dreams. It was the gutless performance by Doug Marrone and Nate Hackett trying to sit out a fourth-quarter lead in January of 2018. John Bon Jovi got up in Bob Kraft's suite and started singing Living on a Prayer, and Jacksonville dropped a deuce in their diaper. And it was coaching that did it. Let's run on first down. We'll pass on second down. We'll pass on third down. We'll punt on fourth down. Miles Jack wasn't down. Tom Brady to Danny Amendola, 3rd and 18. No. Coaching. Gutless coaching with an opportunity to chop the head off of the snake. They did not. That's the way I will always look at that game. Ever since then, Shad Khan and the Jaguars have lost and lost and lost and lost and lost and lost and lost. Put together a couple of 9 and 8 years. And now we're 4-13. Again, it all adds up to 67 and 150. That's what you got here in 13 years. And I've spent a lot of time last night kind of reliving the presser, maybe going over it again and thinking about some issues and what I got out of it that maybe I didn't immediately have during Monday's show. And what I got, and it's really disturbing, is that it feels like to me Shad Khan is okay with a losing culture. He accepts the fact that this is a losing franchise. He didn't look perturbed. He didn't look disappointed. He was smiling yesterday. He, a few times, was tongue-tied, which, honestly, we have not seen an awful lot throughout the career of Shad Khan, who's a very intelligent guy, okay? Always is well-prepared and always answers questions, I think, in a very clever fashion. Not so much yesterday. A couple of missteps for Shad Khan. But to say that he's not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater and to make it seem like, you know, some of these things are working. Some of these things are okay. They're not. I just read you the numbers. They're not close to being okay. Look at both 9 and 8 seasons. You caught lightning in a bottle and won, 6 straight late, all coming from behind, including down 27-0 against LAC, and you won it? I mean, that was freakish. That's not normal. And they did that in the tail end of 2022. And I'm not going to take anything away from that. It was phenomenal for the city. It was phenomenal for you as the Jaguars fans. But that stuff doesn't happen regularly. And then look at a year ago. You're 8-3. You lose 5 of your last 6. You can't get out of your own way. It was incredibly disappointing. So those 9 and 8 seasons are total opposites. The 9 and 8 season in 22 was like, whoa, look at the promise. Look at where this thing's headed. And then the absolute collapse within this past year. Doug Peterson is getting blamed for several things. And it feels like yesterday he is obviously the fall guy. There's no question that 100% of the blame for why this team has not been successful, according to Trent Baalke, is Doug Peterson. And Doug Peterson was fired. But when you talk about Doug Peterson, it's always, well, his loyalty cost him the job. The fact that he would not take away the play calling from Press Taylor cost him his job. And that's right. That's primarily the reason. I think that's the easy answer. I'm not arguing with that. It's a huge part of it. But I think there's more to it. I think there's a little bit of, did he lose the locker room? Roy Robertson-Harris moved. Not a fan. Cam Robinson sucking his thumb, making $1 million, not going in the game when he asked him to. You had to move him. Trent says, here, take him. Give me a pick in 2026. Here, take $7 million as well. Just take him. Get him out of here, right? I mean, he lost the locker room. I felt like the team still played hard, but I think you have to because the tape doesn't lie. But here's the real reason why Doug Peterson was fired. He did not take Trevor Lawrence to the next level. That is the reason. I missed here. I thought he would. We only get the opportunity in the month of August to watch him, right? And I thought he was hands-on. I thought it was good communication-wise. Now looking back, maybe schematically, there certainly were some issues, and there are some excuses, including injuries. Okay, and those are valid, albeit that's another big part of that incredible run in 2022, especially late. That was a healthy football team, right? I mean, Cam went down a little bit. Cam always went down. Cam's brittle. Cam's soft. Cam's going to get hurt, okay? Shaq Griffin went down. You lost Ben Barch for a little bit, man. That guy made killer milkshakes. That was it. I mean, that was a healthy football team. Doug Peterson could not take Trevor Lawrence to the next level. that becomes far and away the number one issue with this football team. You can get to me any way you want, and I try to respond to all of you on social media. 641-1010, text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can defensive tackle me. You can corner me. You can tell me we need a number 2 wide receiver. You can tell me we need 2 safeties. You can tell me whatever it is that you want. And I'm going to listen, and I'm going to respond. But that's number 90, 91, 92, 93, and 94. 1 through 90 is this. Fix Trevor Lawrence. Take Trevor Lawrence to where he is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. People are starting to rip him. What was it? Shady. It was Sean McCoy yesterday. I'm glad he ripped him. I want more people ripping him. I want bulletin board material. I want people saying, you're not it, kid. You haven't even gotten into your $55 million a year. You're not it. Okay, I love it. He should be criticized. He has not played well. He's 22 and he's 38. He's also missed 8 games and he's had 7 different injuries, most prominently because you don't have a good offensive line around here. I haven't given up on Trevor. Not even close to that. Now, my confidence level has waned, but I haven't given up. Who can fix Trevor Lawrence? There it is. The Jaguars have identified 8 coaches that they are going to interview, including a few virtually beginning perhaps as early as tomorrow. Who can fix Trevor Lawrence? Everything else means nothing. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. Not until you fix your quarterback. Not until you give this guy confidence. Not until you give this guy an offense that he can run and he feels that every time he steps out on the field, he's going to drive the football and put up points. That hasn't happened around here. Trevor Lawrence is in a coma in the first quarter. This offense is in a coma in the first quarter. They're never ready. They were ready last week with Mac Jones. It was like shocking. I mean, I know Jaguar fans are like, oh my God. It's like, Daddy, what was that? I mean, the Jaguars actually scored with their first possession. It was like unheard of. It's like twice in their last 25 games. Why is this team never prepared? Never prepared. Ever prepared. Okay? It happens to everyone in college and pro. But you solve it. You fix it. You prepare for it. You coach it. You teach it. You practice it. You classroom it. You film it. You do it all. Not this team. A bunch of bozos. They're never, ever, 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 ever ready under Trevor Lawrence in the first quarter. Never. And you better fix that. Because you can't play winning football when you're coming from behind every Sunday. Who can take Trevor Lawrence to the next level? We're getting to the point now where if it doesn't happen, and this is a team, again, that has gone 67 and 150 under Shad Khan, and we're talking about possibly here the biggest collapse, the biggest miss in the history of this franchise if you don't find the guy to fix Trevor Lawrence. That's what it's all about. Do you think Trent Baalke gets that right now? Do you think Shad Khan gets that right now? Do you think they're talking about instead how excited they are to get to the Senior Bowl? You know, how excited they are to get to the Combine, where they can start evaluating corners and start evaluating interior defense. You have got to find the right man for Trevor Lawrence. And that is a hard job. We all believe it's Ben Johnson. Well, the Ben Johnson sweepstakes have gone down, according to the bookies in Las Vegas. Okay? Keeping Trent Baalke has hurt that. It's now Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen has gone back and forth the last 5 years. He's gone Kentucky, He's gone Tampa. He's gone Kentucky. He's gone Los Angeles. He's gone Tampa. He's gone Los Angeles. Kentucky. Let me look at him one more time. For Liam Cohen. He was a receivers coach 2018 and 2019 with the Rams. Then in 2020, he was a quarterbacks coach. Went to Kentucky in 2021. Went to the Rams in 2022. Went back to Kentucky in 2023 and moved to Tampa in 2024. So he's been 5 different places in the last 5 years. Technically, it's 3. He went back and forth between L.A., the emergence of Matthew Stafford and winning a Super Bowl, and then taking over Will Levis as the offensive coordinator in Kentucky. He's only 39 years of age. He appears to be the leader in the clubhouse. Can you get Liam Cohen? That's the name you've got to really begin to investigate. And maybe he can bring Robert Saleh along as a defensive coordinator. So that's a pretty good combination here in Jacksonville. It really is. Robert Saleh is not going to be named the head coach. He's just not. They have to bring in an offensive mind. And everyone wants Ben Johnson. I'd be really surprised if they're now able to get him. Liam Cohen may be that man, and we just don't know enough about him. I mean, he's done wonderful things with Baker Mayfield. He has. He deserves incredible amounts of credit. But again, when you look at these guys, it's Daboll of a couple of years ago, going from Buffalo off to New York. You just do not know about offensive coordinators. I think the success rate of a coordinator to a head coach is frankly on par with first-round quarterbacks who end up making it. Just look around the league. More than 50% of first-round quarterbacks fail. More than 50% of the hires fail. That is where Jacksonville is. I want you to tell me tonight, who's going to take Trevor Lawrence to that next level? Y'all believe it's Ben Johnson, and I'm with you. You know, if I had a choice here, without hesitation, I would say Ben Johnson. We don't know. We don't know. You think Trent Baalke's going to bring in Ben Johnson if Ben Johnson reportedly doesn't want to work for Baalke? Ben Johnson's also dealing with the fact, and it's been reported in many different places, that he's not a good interviewer. And you really get the feeling that the trust of Baalke and Khan, they really don't get it. They've missed on everything. Not only is Shad Khan 67 and 150, he had an EVP that went sideways in Coughlin. He's had 2 GMs that have been a disaster in Caldwell and Baalke, and he's now working on his 5th head coach. Where's the confidence that he's going to get it right? Day 2 of the offseason. Time will tell. We will be here for it. No doubt about it. All right, opening comments brought to you by Shmunez Vision. A lot of people being taken care of are really taking advantage of financially when it comes to cataract surgery. Why? It's kind of like pulling into a garage. And they're like, hey, man, that's going to cost you. That's going to run you. And you're like, well, what's up? They're like, well, we'll get back to you. And then all of a sudden they start telling you all these things about your vehicle you have no idea about. And a lot of you aren't like, well, I need a second opinion. You're like, fix it. And then, bam, you get the bill. It's the same thing when you go to a lot of these eye practices. They're going to say, oh, you got a cataract surgery issue here, and it's going to cost you. And then you're like, well, can I ask you this? Like, no, sorry. I got to go see another patient. Why don't you walk down the hall here and go talk to our surgery counselor? Imagine that. That's not the case at Shmunez Vision. You'll hear directly from those who perform surgery. Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. Any questions you have, and hopefully you'll have plenty. You're going under. You need your eyes fixed. The good folks at Shmunez Vision, it's just one of the many reasons why they are so good at what they do. Check out everything. Go to Shmunez Vision online. Also get on Instagram all of their testimonials at Shmunez Vision. All right, we're jam-packed right here on this Tuesday night. Sam Kouvaris is going to join me. Sam's been here since before the team came into existence. He's seen all the good. He's seen all the bad. He goes into the night next with Rick Ballou.
Can you imagine a life without 1010XL?
No! Please, no! No! No!
Fortunately, you don't have to.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
1010XL, part of your life.
Problem solved.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnik Buick GMC. Frank Frangie here. As we kick off 2025, there's no better time to find your next vehicle. Start the year strong with the best selection, unbeatable prices, and a team that's here to help you every step of the way. Because when it comes to putting you first, there's nobody but Nimnik. Remember, Nimnik Buick GMC has the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. Shop 24/7 at NimnikBuickGMC.com or visit the showroom on Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Hey gang, Prosser here, and I've been telling you for years about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Lifetime Enclosures right now running an awesome special for January. Get a complete enclosure done, get free flooring. Now that can save you some money. If you just need flooring, Lifetime Flooring also running a buy one room, get the second room free. Once again, only for January. Now offering flooring coating as well. So give them a call. I know I did. Visit their showrooms just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. Listen, I'm all about a sure thing. I like putting my money down knowing I'm going to win, and that's exactly what Awaken 180 was for me, a sure bet. I dropped 25 pounds in just over a month, and let me tell you, the results speak for themselves. Now imagine this. You start Awaken 180 now, and when February rolls around, you've already lost 20 pounds. Or maybe you're like Matt Hayes, down 40 pounds by March. And don't even get me started on Hacker. Dude's lost over 100 pounds. Life-changing results, and I got to see it firsthand. Awaken 180 isn't some gimmick. You eat, you're never starving, and the weight just comes off fast. No guesswork, no crash diets, just a plan that works. And the best part, it's built to last thanks to free support for life. Don't wait for another failed resolution. Start your new year with the program that is the sure bet. Visit Awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Make sure this year is the year you win big with Awaken 180.
Here we come.
The best defense is a superior fence. Superior Fence and Rail highlights the defensive player of the game. On 1010XL, Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
Ammon, you're always talking about how clean air is healthy air. I've had this cold for weeks. Can cleaning my air ducts actually help?
Well, Dad, I'm not a doctor, and let's be honest, you probably caught that cold from one of your grandkids. But I can tell you this, the cleaner your air, the better you'll feel.
Makes sense, but what do air ducts have to do with it?
Your ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're full of dust, allergens, and who knows what else, all that junk gets blown into the air you breathe, especially now that the heat's running. And the EPA says improving indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So you're telling me my vents are working harder than my immune system?
Exactly. That's why Zero Res is here. We're NADCA certified, and our truck mount system is the most powerful in the industry. Right now, we're even offering $100 off your total for January.
All right, sign me up. If it makes me feel better and keeps your mom off my back, I'm all in.
Good call, Dad.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards.
It's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, Sam Kouvaris, he was here long before the Jaguars were, and he's been here through their 30 years, and he goes into the night and joins Rick Ballou. Sammy, how you been?
Rick, I'm good. How about when the Jaguars take their first snap in 2025? They will have been in Jacksonville as long as the Colts were in Baltimore.
Wow.
So for those people who, constantly think we're kind of an itinerant franchise that's always on the verge of moving somewhere, just remember that the Colts went to Baltimore in 1953 and played their last snap there in 1983.
Mm-hmm. And, I actually remember the Rob Johnson game in Baltimore because that was at the old Memorial Stadium. Yeah, and I'll never forget.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that, of course, legendary because Rob played so well during Mark Brunell's injury that trade to Buffalo produced the great Fred Taylor. But
Fred Taylor that year.
Yeah. Of course, I've been to Camden many times, but I'd never – and that was after the fact, but I'd never been to that old stadium. That was pretty cool. I think that was in 98 maybe, 97, one of those 2 years.
That was the 97 because Fred was picked in the 98 draft. But interestingly enough, I think people forget, Memorial Stadium was a lot of childhood memories for me. And at halftime, Rob had injured his ankle and came out and played brilliantly in the second half when he could barely walk at the end of the first half. And we kind of asked him, hey, did they shoot you up there at halftime? He goes, what are you guys talking about? So
yeah, he
whatever
was an
they gave
guy.
him obviously worked.
he was an interesting dude. There's no question about it, Rob Johnson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, the whole story about him being drafted was so fascinating. I mean, because the Jaguars had the number one pick on day 2. And when they came back that morning, Coughlin said, I looked at the board and everybody we had rated in the first couple of first 3 rounds, maybe first 2 rounds was taken. He said, except for one name. And Rob Johnson was still on that side of the board by himself. He said, we were good at quarterback, but I looked at everybody and said, how can we not take this guy? And, of course, he turned into Fred Taylor, traded to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, final thought on this. I remember sitting in the press box, and Art Modell walked in with all this security, and I'm thinking either he believes he's the Beatles or he thinks he's still in Cleveland because they loved him in Baltimore. He snuck out of Cleveland and brought him back a franchise. He didn't need any security in Baltimore.
They gave him $50 million to pay his family taxes for turning the team over, and that was the deciding thing. And by the way, when he flew to Cleveland to meet with the mayor and the governor at the time in order to move the Browns to Baltimore, he never got out of the airplane. They came out and got inside his airplane, and that's where they solidified the deal.
Interesting. Sam Kouvaris, our guest, the Jaguars, day 2 of their offseason, and once again, the franchise remains half pregnant. All right, Your thoughts, Sam? We all saw what happened a day ago. Peterson becomes the fall guy. He's out. We all believe that. But Trent Baalke remains as the general manager.
I published an article on this today on my website, Sam Sportsline. And those of you who follow me on social media know that my initial reaction yesterday, and then even after listening in on the Zoom call with Baalke and Shad Khan yesterday, it still seems backwards to me. It just they didn't give any real reasons. They kind of blamed Doug, but then praised him at the same time. They when Shad was asked, well, what if somebody came in and said we need new kind of personnel procedures, and he said, well, as in what? We have 85 people working on that side of the ball. What are you going to do? Fire them all and find 85 better?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's an odd answer for that. And so when Shad was ticking off the positives in the franchise, found it interesting that he talked about the metrics, the health and wellness, the personnel department, the procedures. None of those things have anything to do with winning football games. Okay? They have everything to do with running an excellent business. If that's what you're in business to do, to run an excellent business, they're at the top of the game. But in terms of winning football games, you've got to obviously have talented players, and I've said many times this season, this 2024 football team is the most talented bad team I've ever been around. And it's just a shame because while I think Trent Baalke does a good job in evaluating talent, I don't think he's very good at building a football team in the National Football League. And you know what? His record does not prove and does not warrant him still having a job. But clearly, he has Shad's ear. Shad does not like to pay people who are not working for him. He feels like that the organization is run the right way, and Baalke is going to be involved in picking the next coach.
I came out of things yesterday believing a lot of things that I didn't necessarily going in. Number one, to me, either he was really, really briefed by Trent Baalke, which could have been the case, or it feels like he's more hands-on. I mean, telling us that Peterson was reporting to him. We know that he hired Peterson and Urban, but I've always been on the impression that he's a hands-off guy and he lets the football people do the football things. Shad made it crystal clear yesterday. He's going to hire the next head coach. I think he's a little bit more involved than I perceived.
And part of the problem, I think, is, and again, Rick, I agree with you, I couldn't tell whether or not Shad was really into it or he was going off a bunch of talking points that his PR staff had put together for him. But at the same time, he said a lot of things that were answers that we really wanted to know, like, are you going to hire the coach? Clearly, he is going to be involved. The question is who does he lean on for that kind of advice? Shad is one of the best business people literally in the world. I mean, without peer in many cases. That's not always the right person to pick your football coach. Mm-hmm. That's not the right, because as we know, the only time the Jaguars have ever kind of worked toward a winning culture of a football team was when Tom Coughlin was the coach. Why are the Steelers consistently good? They've had three coaches since 1970. That's 54 years and three coaches. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season because they have a certain kind of player that they feel like fits into their culture. James Harrison is Greg Lloyd, just a guy with a different name. Same player, same kind of guy, same linebacker that they're looking for. Those are the kinds of things that the Jacksonville Jaguars have refused to build because they've always been interested in that shiny new thing. Mm-hmm. Rather than keep Calais Campbell, which is obviously maybe the most egregious error the franchise has ever committed, they decided, we can get a fifth-round pick for him. Mm-hmm. Well, Mercedes Lewis is not on the Chicago Bears in his 19th year because he's going to run downfield and catch a bunch of passes, nor is he going to make any spectacular block. But Monday through Saturday, he's going to show those guys how to be professionals. He's going to be able to set the tone when it comes to things going wrong in the game. I mean, there are a lot of things that he is going to be able to do that don't have anything to do with being the guy who is the star player on the team. The Jaguars have never established that. I can go all the way back to the day they cut McManus and Jeff Kopp and Brant Boyer all at the same time and replaced him with 3 rookies because they didn't like the veteran minimums that they were going to have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those guys were warriors in the workout room. You know, they were tremendous in the locker room. They held people accountable. They pushed the starters to be better. And you know, that's the kind of player that you need on your team in order to create a culture that perpetuates itself. Guys got to be accountable, and boy, this team certainly wasn't.
All right, Sam, final thought from you. This organization, in my opinion, they need one of theirs. They need someone that they believe is in that building that hurts the way the Jaguar fans hurt when they lose a game. We've heard Baselli most prominently, and, you know, there are others as well. Do you believe that is a direction that Shad Khan is going to go? And just your overall thoughts on what you think they'll pursue here in the next couple of weeks to name their next head coach.
Absolutely believe you're 100% right there, Rick. It's unfathomable that there is not really a former Jaguar who is in that organization kind of helping set the tone. The most prominent would be Tony, and I said that 6 weeks ago. I mean, Chris Spielman went to Detroit. John Lynch is there in San Francisco. I mean, you can look around the league, and there are guys in organizations who still remain part of the organization because they know what that's supposed to be like. Paul Puslesny, why isn't he still part of the Jaguars in some regard? You know, Tony Baselli, I think, would be an excellent, at this point, EVP that would have the final say as to if they got to get down to 2 guys. Baselli's going to pick the guy who is a guy who's going to wave Jason Taylor down to the other end of the field, and not some guy who maybe is slightly more talented.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I believe that. I also think that Mark Brunell should be the next offensive coordinator here, because I think he's shown with Jared Goff that he is a very capable coach, and he's learned under Ben Johnson, who I think it would be very difficult to get Ben Johnson at this point with Trent Baalke in at the general manager's job.
Yeah, I think most out there, unfortunately, are going to agree with that. You know, he doesn't interview well, which ain't going to help him. And it doesn't feel like, you know, everything that we've heard that Ben doesn't want to work with Trent, so maybe amount of money would get him here. But I just can't see the endorsement coming from Trent.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, and Vrabel, I mean, Vrabel would be the ideal guy too, but, I mean, he's going to the Patriots.
Yeah, unless Brady gives him an offer he can't refuse in Las Vegas.
Very good point. Very good point.
Man, that could happen. Sam, always a pleasure. Make sure you follow Sam Kouvaris at Sam Kouvaris on Twitter and or X. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Rick. Take care.
There he goes. Sam Kouvaris, longtime member of the media here in Jacksonville. Great memory of Jaguars football in its 30-year history and everything leading up to it. It's he's a Baltimore guy. I'll never forget being at Memorial Stadium and Art Modell walking in. And that was historic. That was the old stadium, you know, when Art Modell moved Cleveland to Baltimore. But that was that performance by Rob Johnson that brought Fred Taylor. And it was one game and one performance that created a first-round draft pick. And, you know, that was magical for Jag fans who are old enough to remember all of that. Jacksonville needs a guy in that building. See, that's the problem. I flip out about it all the time, okay? Because it's like, you know, there's an old expression in the NFL it's called turn the page. These guys turn the page at midfield after the game. They're done. They're on to the next opponent. And part of that I get because that's being a professional and you can't let it linger. But I want someone in the building who you can identify with, who you know he is a former Jaguar and he hurts because this team can never score in the first quarter. He hurts when they make stupid penalties. He hurts when they lose game after game after game after. Hire someone. If it's Baselli, fine. If it's Paul Puslesny, fine. If it's Fred Taylor, fine. Hire someone. Put someone in there who you as fans can identify with, hear from. You never hear from anyone right? I mean, Trent never talks. I shouldn't say that. The PR staff does a great job with the coach and players. But you need another voice. I was actually shocked we heard from Shad Khan yesterday. I'm under the belief the only time we're ever going to hear from Shad Khan is when he's in London. He spoke to us yesterday. We got much more to do. We call this Into the Night.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Find the best-kept secret in Jack's at the Moss Fire Grill. From $5 margaritas to made-from-scratch Southwest cuisine, find yourself relaxing or celebrating at Jacksonville's first-ever rooftop. Visit Moss Fire Grill in Riverside.
See you on the rooftop.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
It's New Year's resolution time, so why not skip the guilt and do something you'll actually stick to, like fixing that leaky faucet, unclogging that drain, or getting your AC ready for the summer.
Duck Rooter is here to help you keep this resolution, investing in your home.
Start the year off right with Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Call us today at 904-862-6769, because when you're stuck, call the Duck. Right now, get $50 off any service of $150 or more.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $2,600 per ounce. Pay bills. Buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
There are three certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Hicken here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, contact Florida First Insurance Group on University Boulevard, an award-winning Florida Blue agency well known for providing superior service. Theo Mitchelson and his team at Florida First make the process easy and stress-free with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Contact Theo Mitchelson and the Florida First Insurance Group today and let your health be their priority. And a reminder for Florida Blue members, visit Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations in town offering primary care, walk-in services, an on-site pharmacy, and mental health support. SANITAS Medical Center, Florida First Insurance Group, and Sanitas Medical Center, a winning team in Northeast Florida.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Prosser here, and the Fed has dropped the rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low 5s for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6%, or if you're in the process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000, lower rates and lower fees. So get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. It's Loan Pronto. Call them at 904-999-1508, or you can visit loanpronto.com. That's Loan Pronto at 904-999-1508, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Hall of Fame left tackle Tony Baselli chimed in on what he thinks is the most important step of the new hire process when it comes into bringing the next coaching staff into the building to make sure they mesh well with the personnel staff. Here's his opinion for Monday's episode of the Jaguars Happy Hour Show.
And I think it's more about getting the right people in the right roles and defining those roles and understanding what is the identity of the organization. So if I was going to be critical of the Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson tenure, what is our identity? Who are we trying to be? What's the culture of the building and the organization? And I don't think that was established.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's cold outside, people. Get on some warm clothes. God, they sound weird. They're 18 years of age here.
This is the remastered version from 2008.
Yeah, but it still was made back in 1980. It's remastered. Bono was here. He'd lecture us. He'd tell us that everything's going to be just fine. He's an Irishman that I admire, but sometimes it's like, just keep that crap out, man, and play music, right? It's like when I talk about serial killers and the mob and music, I'll get the obligatory. Stick to sports. Actually, I let me correct myself. I don't get a lot of that. When I bring up music and I bring up things, I get a lot of people contributing with our outstanding audience. And you can reach us, 641-1010 on the text line. We're also really humming tonight on YouTube. I got to figure out, I said that, instead of announcing that I would go on a diet again on January 1st, since, Rosie O'Donnell does that every year, I figured why copy her? So I instead said, figure out how to sign in to YouTube so I can go back and forth with all of these listeners. But I think it's problematic. I go to it and I see that Molly's on it. Molly McDonald. I don't know if I can get on it here at the radio station. Dylan, I want to interact with our listeners, and I don't think I have the technology to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, you got to have a Gmail account.
Oh. Where do I buy one of those? Do I go to Woolworths or something?
No, the World Wide Web will help you out with that. Just go to Google, make a Gmail.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And because, everything's intertwined. So Google the leader and YouTube the leader, they're intertwined.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at these guys. I want to connect with them. Arbo, Garuda,
Ryan Mitchell,
Andrew, Vince. Arbo won't stop typing. I love it. Maybe Ed is on here. Edward is on here. Vince is on here. E is on here. Matt is on here. Crash is on here. I mean, I feel like I need to reach out to these folks on YouTube. So let me work on that. Okay. In the meantime, Sam Kouvaris mentioned a very interesting point that I think is a a problem, an ongoing problem for veteran NFL players. You talked about the day, and I was really close with the guys in the 90s because some of them I was close to. There were many that didn't like me. But it was because we were relatively the same age. But the day they cut Jeff Kopp, Brant Boyer, and Tom McManus, and I remember having a conversation with someone else who was also released another year, and he told me that he would play for half the wage. And he said, what am I going to do now? And for those of you who do not know, the National Football League Players Association put in a veteran minimum. So, let's go back to the 90s or whatever it may be. Let's say it's 1998, and you're a 6-year veteran. Well, your wage, even as a minimum, and I'm just throwing out figures here because everything's changed. Let's say it's $750,000. Well, you can get a rookie who's undrafted, and back then maybe pay him $225,000.
So the rookie minimum in '99 was $175,000.
Was it really?
And the veteran minimum was $400,000.
Okay.
So compared to now, it's like $790,000 compared to like $900,000.
Good money
for the veterans.
Good money in the 90s. Really good money. And if your salary cap stretched and you think you can get similar production out of players like this, special teams guys, role players. I mean, Jeff Kopp, Brant Boyer, and Tom McManus all were big parts of those teams. And I'll never forget that, and I'm not going to mention his name. It's not one of these three. Just out of respect, but he's like, you got to be kidding me. They wrote this rule in thinking it's going to help us. It's actually hurt us. Because I went to the organization and said, listen, you don't have to pay me the $400,000. I'll play for $200,000. And they're like, we're not allowed to keep you for $200,000. Your players' union fought for you to get the minimum. So that actually hurt quite a few players league-wide. I think to some extent it probably still hurts some players. So you don't hear much about it because, when you get to the bottom of the roster guys, they just don't get the attention of the frontline players.
And I mean, really, for only veterans like that, you only see it really with quarterbacks like Luke McCown hanging around for a long time. I know you have Mercedes, like Sam Kouvaris mentioned, but you only really hear it for quarterbacks.
Yeah. Jeff Kopp, I think he's still in town. I think he's a minister now. I know he was a coach. I remember we mentioned, Jeff Kopp was a roommate at USC with Tony Baselli and Rob Johnson. And Jeff for a while was in L.A. because when I was working in Chicago, I used to go to L.A. every year for the USC-UCLA game. And I remember one time after knocking off UCLA, I think this was in the Rose Bowl. And the post-game show, which was on AM 1540, Jeff Kopp was doing it with, I believe it was Petros Papadakis. And I went on with him, but we did it live from a Los Angeles Hooters. In 2001, 2002, in fact, during the Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart years, I believe that was it. I mean, again, kind of escapes me a little bit.
About 20 years ago.
Yeah. But Jeff was doing some radio then. And then I think he came back here and became a coach. Actually, is Jeff a police officer? I'm going to have to look at that. He's either a minister or he's a police officer. I don't know which one. I know we have a lot of police who listen. Maybe someone can let us know on the text line at 641-1010. But three really good guys. And Brant Boyer was just in town. He's the special teams coach with the New York Jets. And, of course, Tommy McManus, you get here every once in a while. I know he was on with Hacker last night, and I'm going to have Tommy on in the very near future. I always enjoy my conversations with T-Mac, who, of course, calls Jacksonville his home. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. Getting a lot of return from you on trying to get who can take Trevor Lawrence to the next level. And just be honest, okay? I understand that the conversations with this team, there are so many. But this is the most important thing. If you don't fix that, you're just going to continue losing, and losing. You are. You've got the guy. He has the God-given ability. There are questions. Okay? Injured too much. Doesn't take care of the ball. Football instincts. Hasn't played enough competition in high school and college. Whatever it is. All right? Does he have the football mind, the football sense? I mean, there are questions. And there's more questions now getting ready for his 5th year than there was when he was a rookie. I still believe that he is the right man that can take this team to where it's never been before. But you have to find the right coach and the right play caller. That's the number one issue for me. And it's not even close. There's nothing else within this organization that is even close to finding the right guy to fix Trevor Lawrence. Come back, grab your thoughts on that. Hour number 2.
Your home for Florida Gators basketball is 1010XL.
The 8th-ranked Gators guard the swamp against top-ranked Tennessee. It's our top 10 shootout at the O'Connell Center. Gators Vols, tonight at 7 on 1010 a.m.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the chairman of Underwoods. With Christmas behind us in 2025 here, the last thing you want to hear is somebody trying to sell you something. That's why at Underwoods, we'd like to just stop and say thank you to all the people that came in our stores over the last year. Whether you bought from us or not, we want to thank you for coming by and giving us the chance to help. You know, in North Florida, there are a lot of people trying to sell you jewelry. But at Underwoods, we consider it an honor for somebody to come in and just give us that chance to help. And if we do a good job, we might get a chance to serve again. Having served North Florida since 1928, all of us here understand what a customer really gives us during that visit to Underwoods, their trust. And it's up to us to do everything we can to keep it. So on behalf of everybody on the Underwood team, thanks again for coming into our stores. And we wish each of you a happy new year.
Start the new year with a fresh look for your home. It's the Renewal by Andersen New Year's sales event. For a limited time, save 20% off on our energy-efficient windows and patio doors designed to keep your home comfortable year-round and your energy bills down. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation. But hurry, the special New Year's offer won't last. License number CGC 1527613.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hacker here, and for the first time in nearly 20 years, I finally get to have a different resolution. Like most of you, mine was always to lose weight. I'd try something for a few weeks, maybe lose a pound or two, and then give up. Well, I tried. Starting the new year with Awaken 180 isn't a try. It's a sure thing. And why will you stick with it? Because instead of a pound or two, you'll see results right out of the gate. We all need motivation. After my first 3 weeks with Awaken 180, I was already down 30 pounds. Granted, I had a lot of weight to lose, but look at Dempsey, look at Matt Hayes. Those guys had results out of the gate too. Dempsey dropped 9 pounds his first week, Matt dropped 12 pounds. Regardless of the weight you need to drop, seeing those fast results will motivate you to reach your goal. Guys, girls, losing weight regardless of how many times you've tried is possible with Awaken 180. Make the sure bet and make 2025 the last time losing weight is your New Year's resolution. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass. He told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but I...
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
6 vacancies open in the National Football League. The Jaguars have identified 8 coaches, or 8 candidates to be their next head coach. We're going to go through that here in just a couple of minutes. A lot of news within the division. Rand Carthon fired today, general manager of the Titans. They have the number 1 overall pick. Brian Callahan staying on. Feels like they really made a mistake there. Mike Vrabel should have stuck. They don't have a QB. Colts yesterday, late during our program, fired Gus Bradley. They do keep general manager Chris Ballard. He's 62-69-1 since 2017. And Shane Steichen, who's 17-17, 2 years in. Byron Leftwich interviewed today with the New England Patriots. Pep Hamilton as well. So a lot of stuff going on throughout the league. Antonio Pierce does become the 6th coach fired, the only one today after 5 yesterday. He was 4-13. 1 year in Las Vegas with the Raiders. Okay. Quick announcement. We're going to wait for this cold to go away, but I'm going to put together a tournament over at Cimarron. And it's great because we're going to call it the Truth Teller Tournament, and the deal is that you're all going to lie and say you're sick and come on and play golf one afternoon. So that's coming very shortly. The good folks who obviously part of the 210 Mafia. And if you haven't been out there lately, the course is just absolutely spectacular. They've redone it all. But if this becomes a hit, I'd like to do it every week. No, I'm kidding. I'd like to do it maybe quarterly or maybe thirds or just a couple of times a year. We'll see. But I'll do a show out there after, and I'll try to put together some specials and all that good stuff. But that's what is coming up. It's just too cold right now, and it's going to be cold for a little bit. But maybe late January, early February, we'll put that out there for you. Definitely looking forward to it, and like to see a lot of you out there, people who listen to the program, listen to 1010XL, or listen to us here as well on Into the Night. Be good to get out there with some golfers and just kind of take your attention off of the massive stress that you're dealing with right now. As a Jaguars fan, I mean, I got so much out of yesterday. And again, we've talked about what I got from Shad Khan. I've given you my idea on what I believe they have to fix more than anything, and that's the guy that can get Trevor Lawrence to the next level. But I never run too far away from you, the fan, because that's what it's all about. Without the fans, we don't have a radio station. We don't have a team. You were so ready, even after this 4-13 year, even after, and I think Sam Kouvaris said it really, I think it was a great comment by Sam. This was the worst, best team we've ever seen, okay? I mean, all the talent on this team, yet they lost and lost and lost and lost, and we've talked about it ad nauseum. What, 10 one-possession losses this year? Still a really good team. There's some holes, but whoever comes in here, there's a chance. But anyway, back to you, the fans. You were so ready to say, it's awful, I'm going crazy, but just fire them, and you're back on board. It's like every single one of you was like, I'm ready for this. You know, we're 106 days away from the draft, free agency, there's money. You know, just bring in a new GM, bring in a new head coach, and you, no matter where you're listening, you're like already there. You're not even going through that time of mourning where, oh, I don't want to talk about it until April or May. No, you were like ready yesterday. I mean, what a great fan base. There's a lot of other you think the Raiders are that way in Las Vegas after a 4-13 year? I'm from Boston. They're going crazy right now in Boston about the Patriots. Look at all these other cities. What do you think they're talking about right now in Nashville after firing Rand Carter? Well, once they get through country and more country and NASCAR and some hoops, and they'll eventually get to football, right? Indianapolis. What's the guy's name? Pat McAfee? I don't watch it, but
yeah, that's him.
He tore them down. Not here. You people were like, you're so forgiving. You were so ready yesterday to say, it's over. I'm in. I'm buying season tickets. Go get the new GM. Go get the end. They just don't see it. It's so obvious. It's right there in front of them. I mean, what a colossal miss. And again, I feel for you. I do. I mean, I just feel awful. There was like, I mean, a lot of us have been divorced, right? Maybe you rebound for a while, then you're like, it's not going to work. And then maybe it's the one after that works. But this like rebound was going to last like 12 hours. I mean, you were like, that's it. I don't need any more time. I'm in. Sign me up. When's the next practice at the Miller Electric Center? Where's the draft party? I mean, it was so encouraging. I love the fact that you had that attitude. And I base this off of social media. I base it off of people that I have conversations with. And, man, they just let you down. They just absolutely let you down. Devastating. It really is. It's not disappointing. It's devastating. They don't see it. It's right there. I mean, how can they not see it? How can they be so out of touch with what their fans believe? No clue. The 8 candidates. I think right now the leading candidate for the Jaguars is Liam Cohen. Again, he's gone back and forth between Kentucky and the Los Angeles Rams. This past year, Baker Mayfield really turned his career around. He's the Huck guy. He's 39 years of age. He has done some real top 3 offense. That's all I know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that's automatically going to win. That's automatically going to work. I can't. We don't know. He's never been a head coach, okay? Do you want a 39-year-old who's never been a head coach running this football team? I think if he could bring Robert Saleh with him, and I've seen that a few places today, I love that idea. Now, when I was a sideline reporter, Robert Saleh, he didn't say 2 words the 8 years that I was there. And I think that's common for position coaches. When Doug Marrone was the offensive line coach, he didn't say anything either until he was promoted, the interim, and then became it. So maybe that's just the way of the world with position coaches. Aaron Glenn. Really have a lot of positive feelings about Aaron Glenn, a guy who's been in this league, a guy that I think the players will respect, a guy that's going to have a lot of opportunities, okay? He's going to interview virtually here because Detroit's in the playoffs, but he's also got scheduled interviews in New Orleans, Chicago, and with the New York Jets. He's arguably the most coveted guy, not named Ben Johnson. And I say that only because I think Mike Vrabel is basically locked to the Patriots. Unless Tom Brady in Vegas can all of a sudden, give him an offer that's just too good to turn down. And again, if you're Mike Vrabel, do you go back to where you were so effective as a player? Or do you go to a place like Las Vegas that is basically a circus? I mean, they're replacing everything there every other year. In this case, it was in a year. Wonder how much that, as great as Las Vegas is, and I'm all about climate, I wouldn't want to go back to Boston. No way. I've had opportunities. This is just no way because of the weather. Do you want to be in Las Vegas, though? And maybe it's one of those deals when you're there. I know some people that, you never buy the Strip. But I just don't know. Living out in the desert. I don't know if that is for me. I need some water. I need some warm water. Ben Johnson. I feel as though the Jaguars have lost out on him now. I do. Okay, he's going to interview with the Bears. He's going to interview with the Patriots virtually. He's going to interview with the Jaguars. Right now, my opinion is Trent Baalke does not sign off on Ben Johnson. That's my opinion. I don't know that. That's an opinion, okay? Ben Johnson reportedly does not interview well, which is disturbing. Robert Saleh. Again, I know exactly who he is. I don't know him. I barely talked to him when I was traveling with the team, working with the team. I don't know him. He came across to me as almost very, not shy, but he didn't talk. So I wish I could give you a better feeling, a more accurate description of it. I can't. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to make stuff up. I just don't know if that does it to you, though. Again, the problems, he didn't have a quarterback. Zach Wilson didn't work out. Aaron Rodgers and, how about Shad yesterday? Shad won't criticize anything involved with his own team, and he pops off on Aaron Rodgers. It's like, you just can't make this stuff up.
Well, yeah, he don't know anything about the league, but he knows about that. That's pretty funny. I had to go back and listen to it. I was like, did he actually just say that?
Shad Khan's 67 and 150. He's got a winning percentage of 30.9. He wins 3 out of every 10 games. He wins 30 out of every 100 games. And he's popping off on a guy who just threw his 500th touchdown. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of pro football. Seriously, Jaguar fans, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, you just can't make it up.
He probably knows about him because of the Netflix doc he just dropped.
You know, I don't smoke dope because I get paranoid. But if you smoke dope and you can laugh, I mean, just smoke dope to this franchise and just sit back and, like, laugh with them. And just say we're pathetic, man. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. Is there funny marijuana and paranoid marijuana? I'm still looking for, what do they call it, a strand? I'm looking for a strand that doesn't make me paranoid. Doesn't make me wonder, am I going to be able to get in the building tomorrow? Do I still have a job on Wednesday, or is this my final into the night? And that's what happens when I smoke doobies. But you as a fan, man, brother, whatever works. Patrick Graham, all of a sudden, you know, he's available. They just fired Antonio Pierce, defensive coordinator, Raiders. He's going to interview. Don't know much about him outside of the fact that he's a former player. Kellen Moore, felt like he was a hot guy a couple of years ago, right? Dallas, now in Philadelphia. You know, I just look at that and I'm like, no. That's just my opinion. It's a no. Joe Brady. Okay. We saw what he did with Joe Burrow. We see what he's doing now in Buffalo, but look at who he replaced. Brian Daboll. Look at how Brian Daboll was thought 2 years ago in Buffalo. Went with an assistant general manager in Buffalo to the New York Giants. Apparently Daboll's going to survive. And a lot of people think he's a good coach. Hasn't had a QB. Is Joe Brady the same guy? Or is Joe Brady a guy that you're thinking, he can pull it out with Trevor Lawrence? If so, you hire him. Todd Monken. Like Todd when he was here. Been an offensive coordinator all over the place. He was a head coach at Southern Mississippi. Does have experience, albeit college, not pro. Thought of very highly, running the Baltimore Ravens offense. Always liked Todd. Again, you're talking about a first-time head coach in the NFL. The only one of these coaches who has experience is Robert Saleh. And it wasn't a great run. So it feels like it's going to be new blood. It feels like it's going to be first-time head coach in the NFL. That is the direction that this organization is going. And before we head to this break, let's see. Liam Cohen, offense. Ben Johnson, offense. Kellen Moore, offense. Joe Brady, offense. Todd Monken, offense. So 5 of the 8 are offense. Aaron Glenn, defense. Patrick Graham, defense. And then, of course, Robert Saleh, defense. So 5 offensive minds, 3 defensive minds. There's a large part of me that really wants to say, forget about a defensive mind. Eliminate those 3 because of the reason that I've given you. It's all about hiring a head coach who is the play caller, not bringing in an offensive coordinator. No. Look at what Sean Payton's doing with Bo Nix. Bo Nix. Do you remember Bo Nix at Auburn? Before he went to Oregon? Of course you do. We're in the Deep South. Look what he did with Drew Brees. Oh, he only won 1 Super Bowl. Oh, okay. Are you trying to tell me right now that 1 Super Bowl under Trevor Lawrence is not enough? Do I have to tell you again that there's 67 and 150 over this ownership? You can't start getting greedy and talking about 2 and 3 and 4. I mean, 1 Super Bowl in the career of Trevor Lawrence, that's all Favre got. That's all Rodgers got. That's all Breeze got. You know, I understand Bradshaw has 4, and Montana won a few, and Brady won 7, and the Mannings each won a couple, and Roethlisberger won a couple. Staubach won a couple. But 1... right now, I would absolutely take that. Whether Trevor Lawrence plays 8 years or 18 years. Yes, I'd take it. For you not to, boy, I'd really love to hear why. Maybe you can share that with us. The best way to join us, 641 1010. Text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
1010XL.
Duval's just different when the Jags are good. You can feel it in the air. You can sense it all over town.
Home of the Jaguars.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Oh, Downy in the rinse shade.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. Terminix stops termites in my home fast. These destructive pests may have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so does Terminix. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem. I certainly wasn't going to. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. Terminix.com.
Hey, Hicken here with a message from Zero Res. Guess what? We love rugs. We'll treat your fine Oriental rugs with tender, loving care they deserve. How about Gerard, the Zero Res rug cleaning manager, one of the few certified master rug cleaners in the state of Florida? If you want your rugs cleaned with tender, loving care, call Zero Res. Right now, have one rug washed and we'll wash a second rug free. That's right, buy one, the second one on me. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Waited forever for your new fence. Strangers show up, subcontractors you've never met, rushing through the job, and sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained employees deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts, just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now. I love opening my windows up this time of year. If you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors online at PellaJacks.com.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Millard Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Millard Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Millard Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Millard Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Mia here for Dreamfinders Homes. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now is your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershome.com for more details.
How much do the performers for Super Bowl halftime shows get paid?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Super Bowl performers are not paid for their shows, but production costs are covered by the NFL, which could go as high as $15 million.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's all about you, Jaguar fans. There's no one else. You have been let down. And we talk about Doug Peterson, perhaps losing the locker room. I have to make an admission right now. I have lost complete control of this show. I cannot believe those who are out there smoking doobies. And it feels like everyone's telling us about it, Dylan as well. On the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, the type that you're smoking and the type that you recommend for me that won't create paranoia. I keep seeing indica. So, I'd like to say I've lost control of the show, but I kind of asked, and the people are responding. Maybe it's the exact opposite. What does Chef ask for in Apocalypse Now? He goes, hey, man, you got any of that Panama Red? The guy's like, yeah, man. Yeah, I can get you some of that. Remember, he's all toasted, and he tries to go into the jungle to get some mangoes. And he sees the tiger, and and he starts freaking out on the boat. The tiger. The girlfriend's out of town. Maybe tonight's the night. Maybe I find a little bit of indica. And I'm going to watch the Bruins play. I know the Celtics are on at 10 o'clock tonight, West Coast game. Maybe I'll just kick back in the lazy boy and watch Apocalypse Now. Have you ever seen that, Dylan?
I have not.
You have got so much living to do, young man. Oh, my goodness. You have never seen Apocalypse Now. It is the greatest war movie of all time. Martin Sheen goes down the river to kill... what's his name in the movie? It's Marlon Brando who plays it, but it's absolutely phenomenal. All right. So you young guys, you can look back on some things. So that is going on. What was the other deal that I was going to look at as well that is really making a huge statement here? Oh, okay, yeah, it's the quarterback thing. Everyone's opinion with the quarterbacks. So, all right, let's get to some of you. Look at this, hundreds have come in tonight, okay? Absolutely hundreds on, what is next for this organization. Here's one, 6065, Ballou, in my spirit animal, I want to be 46 years of age. I want to be an intern. I want to drink some brews, talk Jags, serial killers, and real rock music. That is his goal. 0976, like your comments. Someone said earlier this afternoon on one of the shows that Bulky is the Keith Richards of general managers. Bulky's a lot cooler than Keith Richards. Bill O'Brien is the man. Really? Bill O'Brien. I think you know what you get from Bill O'Brien. I think you bring in a little bit of discipline. I think he is a decent offensive coach. I'll tell you what hurt Bill O'Brien is trying to take over with dual control. That's not going to happen with Bulky. Wouldn't be surprised if something like that does happen. if they add a 9th or 10th interview. 1596, boy, I agree with you a lot, but the AFC is stacked with young, talented teams and future Hall of Fame talent. Do you really think they're throwing in those young, talented quarterbacks? Well, none of them have won. Is one of them going to win this year? Right? And Jared Goff isn't young, but they're actually the odds-on favorite, not Kansas City, right now to actually win the Super Bowl if you look at overall Super Bowl odds. But Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow's not even in. Is it Jalen Hurts? Who is it? Who else is a brilliant young quarterback? I mean, Baker? Tampa Bay. There's no way Tampa Bay is going to win it this year. They don't have a defense. They can't stop anyone. Pittsburgh's not going to win it. Wilson, this guy they mentioned earlier. Wilson has one and should have two.
There's only 5 teams that can win the Super Bowl. The top 3 in the AFC, and then Detroit and Philly.
LA's a 3-point favorite in Houston. We should absolutely put Herbert on that list. And you know what? Stroud's had a real bad year. But I don't think you give up on him after 2 seasons. Right? Certainly not nearly as good as he was a year ago then. That's the first game Saturday. Game 2, Pittsburgh at Baltimore. All right, Lamar Jackson's a star. Pittsburgh right now trying to figure everything out. Again, they're a double-digit underdog, 10 points.
I was about to say, is it? I saw it open at like 9.5.
I just bragged about Sean Payton and Bo Nix. Still, is it fair to anoint Bo Nix this early in his career? We did it a year ago with C.J. Stroud, right? But I don't know if we can with Bo. Of course, Allen is in Buffalo. Green Bay at Philadelphia. All right, mentioned Hurts. You got Love. Philadelphia, favored by 4.5. Buffalo, favored by 8.5. The other 2 games, Sunday, the nightcap. D.C. at Tampa. I saw a comparison the other day that is baffling, and it makes a lot of sense. Jaden Daniels has been so good. But if you look at his numbers, they're basically the same as Caleb Williams. Yet, with Daniels, it's like generational. He's the guy. Can't miss. And with Williams, there's like a mixed bag, including people who believe he's not ever going to turn into anything. It's really... I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but it's really kind of comical how one is perceived as can't miss, the other. And I think a lot of that has to do with his personality or whatever it may be.
And a lot of it, too, is Daniels in the fourth quarter's QBR is like top in the league, completion percentage and all that. And the wins from behind, a lot of that has to do with it, too.
So D.C. at Tampa favored by 3. And then, of course, Minnesota goes to Los Angeles. They're only favored by a point and a half on the road. Long trip. A lot of people will argue about that. Divisional winners, not divisional winner, but more wins during the regular season. They're going to change it in college football with the 4 teams with the bye. I mean, look at college football. The next 4 teams are in the playoffs beginning Thursday night and Friday night. It's teams 5, 6, 7, and 8, the seeds. Not 1, 2, 3, or 4. They all lost, all coming off a bye. It's 5, 6, 7, 8. It's crazy. And the NFL's talked about this for quite some time. They still recognize the 8 divisional winners. You have 2 byes, but it's the 6 divisional winners who did not receive a bye all host, regardless of wins by road teams. And the end result of that is we have, 2 road favorites? L.A. at Houston is a road favorite. Minnesota at L.A. is a road favorite. The other 5, the home team. Or the other 4, the home team is the favorite. Some good stuff here on Trevor, but that's just a little bit too long. Give me Vrabel, 38-57. I would say you have absolutely zero chance of getting Mike Vrabel. None. Mike Vrabel is the number one candidate in New England. He's arguably the number one candidate with the New York Jets. A lot of people believe that if Chicago can't get Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel becomes the number one candidate there. And I have to believe that Tom Brady's going to get involved, and he's going to become the number one candidate in Las Vegas. Vrabel would bring a lot to this organization. Again, he shouldn't have been fired. He didn't have a quarterback. Look at all these teams that are getting fired who don't have a quarterback. This organization has a quarterback. Judy Bautista, who I really like. Longtime writer out of Cleveland. I don't have it in front of me, but she put out the most attractive jobs. At this time, there were 5, not 6. Of course, Vegas added today. And she had Jacksonville in 4th out of 5. And I'm like, really? I mean, really? You know, it was the Bears one, then it was I think it was the Jets, then and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And yeah, her reason was bulky, but quality of life, the tax situation, and then you get to the organization, you have draft capital, you have plenty of money to spend in free agency. Bulky's done a nice job with that. Bulky has put together, outside of last year's free agency class, that was a disaster. I mean, that was a failure. His free agency class. The only thing you got anything out of was Mitch Morse. Eric Armstead, 0. Ronald Darby, no. Didn't work out. Devin Duvernay hurt, whatever, no. Darnell Savage, it didn't work. Gabe Davis? There's another scary part of this that I haven't heard anyone mention yet, and it's something that I will be getting into quite a bit. But you've heard my approach on Trevor in offense. Worry about defense later. This team needs a number 2 wide receiver. Where do you think that is, honestly? On the pecking order right now for Trent Baalke, when he looks at team needs, where do you think the number 2 wide receiver is? My guess, not even in the top 5. You know why? Because he paid Gabe Davis. And he's going to believe that next year, Gabe Davis is the number 2. The slot guy, if they hang on to Christian Kirk, I think there's a better chance of that happening now with Baalke still there as opposed to a new GM. If not, it's Parker Washington. But I am all about getting a number 2 wide receiver. I believe that Baalke will identify 4 or 5 other things until he even gives that out. That's just my opinion. Because the ego comes into play when you sign these guys. A new GM would look at Gabe Davis and say, okay, whatever, make him our number 5 wide receiver. Number 4 wide receiver. Baalke, I can't see that happening. Cannot. All right, much more to do with you tonight till 8.
Bone-crushing blows to game-winning goals. Yes! Feel the energy on 1010XL. History! Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Instead of wasting money on resolutions you won't keep, why not invest in something that lasts? Like fixing that dripping faucet, clearing that clogged drain, or finally tuning up your AC. Call Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. We'll help you keep your home in shape this year. It's the one resolution you won't regret breaking. Call 904-862-6769 to schedule service today. Because when you're stuck, call the Duck. Right now, get $50 off any service of $150 or more.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
The game where every yard counts. One player's performance stands out.
That's what you want from a leader.
Universal Roofing Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game.
Touchdown, what a throw.
On 1010XL.
Hey gang, Prosser here, and I've been telling you for years about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Lifetime Enclosures right now running an awesome special for January. Get a complete enclosure done, get free flooring. Now, that can save you some money. If you just need flooring, Lifetime Flooring, also running a buy one room, get the second room free. Once again, only for January. Now offering flooring coating as well. So give them a call. I know I did. Visit their showrooms just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and this month I want to talk to you about welcoming the winds of change in your life. But so often, when we see the winds of change coming our way, our immediate response is to fight it. Friends, when you see things in your life changing, when the winds of change are coming your way, don't fight it, but embrace it. Recognize that God is stirring you up so that you too can soar like an eagle.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
Make a resolution this new year to send all of your friends or family a Kuhn Flowers floral arrangement. E.T. here with 1010XL. Okay, how about sending just one person you love a floral arrangement? Kuhn Flowers can handle it.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. Listen, I'm all about a sure thing. I like putting my money down knowing I'm going to win, and that's exactly what Awaken 180 was for me, a sure bet. I dropped 25 pounds in just over a month, and let me tell you, the results speak for themselves. Now imagine this. You start Awaken 180 now, and when February rolls around, you've already lost 20 pounds. Or maybe you're like Matt Hayes, down 40 pounds by March, and don't even get me started on Hacker. Dude's lost over 100 pounds. Life-changing results, and I got to see it firsthand. Awaken 180 isn't some gimmick. You eat, you're never starving, and the weight just comes off fast. No guesswork, no crash diets, just a plan that works, and the best part, it's built to last thanks to free support for life. Don't wait for another failed resolution. Start your new year with the program that is the sure bet. Visit awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Make sure this year is the year you win big with Awaken 180.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, today's cool down. The Jacksonville Jaguars did announce 6 head coaching candidates. Liam Cohen, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, both from Detroit. Of course, Cohen. Those are 3 playoff coaches. Cohen runs the offense in Tampa. Robert Saleh, former linebacker coach here, fired earlier this year by the New York Jets. Patrick Graham, who I wonder if the Raiders interview him. They did fire earlier today in Antonio Pierce. Graham's going to get some interviews. Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator with Philadelphia. Joe Brady, offensive coordinator with Buffalo. Todd Monken, who was here previously as well as a wide receiver coach, is Ravens offensive coordinator. Let me look up Todd Monken real quick. I like Todd when he was here along with Dirk Cutter in company. This is the guy that's still only, he's 58 years of age. So in NFL terms, he's young. He's been all over the place. Remember we did a few years ago with Georgia, but his only head coaching experience is with Southern Mississippi. He taught the wide receivers here in 2027 through 2010. I told you, I think it was last week, I was talking about Justin Blackman when he went over to Oklahoma State and the Jaguars drafted Blackman. And I had Monken on, and he was the one that kind of dropped the first bombshell, saying he takes time off during routes, doesn't work hard if he knows the ball's not going to him. And he was at Oak State 11-12, then went to Southern Miss 3 years as a head coach. Then he's been an offensive coordinator in Tampa, Cleveland, Georgia in 2021 and 22. Of course, part of a national championship. And Baltimore this year. I think there's a real chance that Todd Monken gets this job. Now, I have no idea what his relationship is like with Trent Baalke. That I do not know. 3508 Blue. Jacksonville needs a new quarterback. Trevor hasn't done anything to prove he will turn things around. He hasn't been good while playing. There's zero chance of that happening. The $55 million a year hasn't even clicked in. I have never been someone that is really going to tell you that you need to flat out change your opinion. Okay? But with this, that's just wrong. He's not going anywhere. They've invested $275 million. You've got to find the guy to fix him. I began the show with that tonight. You're going to hear me talk about it all the time. It is far and away the number one issue. I don't care who these head coaches are. Doesn't matter. That's why I don't want a defensive coach. It has nothing to do with Ben Johnson or Robert Saleh or Patrick Graham, or if they, all of a sudden want to interview Mike Vrabel. It has nothing to do with that. I want an offensive coach coming here who calls plays. I don't want a defensive coach with a brilliant young offensive coordinator who turns and fixes Trevor. And then all of a sudden in a year or two, he's on the list to become a head coach somewhere else. I don't want that. Neither should you. The best example I can give you is Sean Payton with Bo Nix. You don't want Liam Cohen with Baker Mayfield because Liam is going to get snatched up. You don't want Ben Johnson with Jared Goff because Ben Johnson's going to get snatched up. Okay? You want... Now, if you hire one of those two, again, they call plays. There's a difference. An offensive coordinator is an offensive coordinator by definition. I mean, look at all those years that Eric Bieniemy got all this attention. Oh, he's the greatest. He's the greatest. Let's bring him in. Let's bring him in. Never called plays. Andy Reid calls plays. That's the best example of them all. Look at what Andy Reid has done. with Patrick Mahomes. And, it didn't work for Bieniemy. Didn't work in Carolina when he called plays. Didn't work at UCLA this year when he called plays. I don't see Eric Bieniemy's name anywhere. It's amazing how quickly you can fall off when you are a hot guy. Eric Bieniemy was a hot name for almost half a decade. Every year. I don't know if he's going to get a sniff today. Byron Leftwich got a sniff today. He got one in New England. Apparently he interviewed with the Patriots. So, that's where I'm going to be on this. And who knows what they're thinking? Don't even know what to say about that. There's no telling. It took them a very long period of time to announce Doug Peterson. It took them nearly 5 weeks to pull that off. And that was a different situation where Urban was fired in season and you were a New York Jets or a Saints. You were a team that had the opportunity to get out in front of these other organizations. And Jacksonville did not. Now they're starting, 3 other teams had an opportunity first, including Chicago, who I left out of it. But now all of a sudden there are 6 openings in the NFL. And it kind of feels like, maybe that is going to be it. That is going to be all of the jobs that will be available for the 2025 vacancies, if you will. Unless there was a surprise, maybe Mike McCarthy leaving Dallas. There's some talk that maybe the Bears are interested in bringing him in. I don't know if all of a sudden he could be fired under Jerry Jones. Who knows? I don't know if any of these playoff coaches could be let go. What if Buffalo lost? Would that be it for Sean McDermott? Do they feel they're at the point right now that enough is enough? Don't know. Could Sean McVay just come out and say, you know what? I don't want the grind anymore. I want to go into the broadcast booth. Because he could get that job. There's been reports that that's been out for quite some time. And get rid of the stress that way. So those are really the only jobs that I could see that could still open in the NFL.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Hatter Nation is here. How are you, young man?
Rick, I'm good. I'm watching the Gators giving number 1 Tennessee sort of the beating right now down at the O'Connell Center.
It's all come together for Florida. After that football season, now hoops. What, you lost a tough one, a high-scoring game to Kentucky.
Well, crazy thing is, you lose 106-100 to Kentucky. I guess they must have worked on their defense in the last 72 hours. The number 1 team in the land, Tennessee, is at 15 with 30 seconds to go in the first half.
What?
Yeah, it's 32-15.
I thought this only happened yearly in football.
Apparently.
Although they have won 2 of the last 3.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this. I don't know when this happened. We always know it just means more, right, in the SEC when it comes on the gridiron.
It does.
Maybe not on the gridiron this year, but it does on the hardwood. They're the number 1 conference in America, and it's not even close. Yeah. Not even close how good the SEC is in basketball this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did they have? 4 of the top 5?
I mean, bracketology is projecting like 11 SEC teams in right now.
Really?
Which is wild. Now, granted, it's January. It's early, but there's a lot of really good teams.
Tell you what a big game is tomorrow night. Florida State of Miami.
Oh, it's big.
Jim Larinaga says I'm out of here.
That's big. So Leonard Hamilton's getting sued or something.
Leonard Hamilton's like 250 here, 250 here. No, you guys don't get it getting sued. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they better win that one tomorrow night because they have Clemson. They're in first place right now in the Atlantic Coast Conference in hoops.
This was your non-Jaguar topic. The next 2 hours will be Jaguars on Hacker After Dark this evening.
Yeah,
so.
What's coming up tonight? What do you got?
Yeah, obviously, we're going to continue the talk. I kid. We'll obviously keep you updated on Florida, Tennessee. But I wanted to talk to the Jaguar fans tonight. And there's not a much better place to do that than Eric Dillard, otherwise known as E. Dilla, on social media.
My boy.
We're going to have Dilla on. I just want to kind of get a vibe. Dilla's going to join us about 8:35, 8:40 this evening. So Dilla's going to join us to just kind of give his thoughts on everything. Jaguar Twitter went to a dark place yesterday when Trent Baalke was announced that he's coming back. So I just kind of want to get a vibe from the fan base. I thought Dilla was the right guy to get on. Also, Jared Bailey of the Sporting News and JP Acosta of SB Nation all coming up tonight.
Sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm sure Dilla will be pretty outspoken.
Dilla's got a lot to say. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
All right, Hack, have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us right here on your home of the Jaguars. Thank you to Sam Kouvaris for joining us. I thought he brought some really good info and opinions, as always, to the program. Boy, what a night on the text line. What a night on social media. What a night on YouTube. Thank you to everyone. Do appreciate it. Try to get to as many of you as I can, but I mean, it's just been insane with what is going on. Let me remind you of one thing. It's going to happen, people. It is going to happen. One of these days, your Jacksonville Jaguars, they're going to be Super Bowl champs.